one thing that I was thinking of as you were sharing that was this idea of when someone assumes a leadership position in an organization. Let's say they're brought in from outside. There are kind of two approaches. One is come in and I'm the boss and I'm going to change everything and all that sort of thing. And that rarely goes very well. And the other is don't do anything for X period of time. Now that may be 6 months or a year or whatever it may be. But I think that is so much the wiser, because it is taking the time to figure out what is the culture, what is the language, whatever that language, because every organization's got its own language and jargon and politics and culture and psychology and all those things. Figure that out and then start to make changes and moving, because I think you can be so much more effective that way. And anyway, so I was thinking about that in a non-military context.
If I could just add on a postscript to that, Tom, I think you're
Yes,
making
sir.
a great point. And you stole a little of my thunder from Secretary Rumsfeld. The unknown unknowns. I'll come back to it maybe in a minute. But we can't know everything. And so the other part of this art form is, and it kind of goes to your example of coming into a new organization, is the least successful leaders are the bull in the china shop leaders. Let's break it all and then I'll fix it. Well, along the way, you leave casualties no matter what, whether it's physical or human or whatever. I think that you have to spend an important amount of time in the areas that you know least about. I call it go where you're least comfortable. And listen. After I retired, I was asked to chair the board of a 600-bed hospital in Colorado, and then later served on the board of the University of Colorado Health System, which at that time had 9 hospitals. And for an Air Force fighter pilot, there was a lot that I knew nothing of, but I tried to spread myself across the organization to understand the challenges of being a physician in an OR with a very complicated procedure, or being a nursing assistant taking care of elderly patients who are fall risks and who you have to kind of keep watch on every day. And what I learned from that is that just like in Afghanistan, it's a complex world. Healthcare is not simple. You won't know everything there is to know. So you can't hold off forever before putting your thumbprint. At least in the military, you kind of 2 years is sort of your
Right.
sentence, so you're going to move on. But even if you look across industry, leaders tend to move routinely. Maybe not every 2 years, but certainly 3, 4, 5 years. It's rare today to see leaders that kind of stay within an in the same position for 25 years.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to sort of find that balance that is, I think I've observed enough and I've learned enough that this really works well and that doesn't seem to work as well. I'm not going to micromanage the things that work really well, but let me pay attention and find a couple experts to help me with the things that are not working so well. Mm-hmm. And I learned a ton about healthcare by doing that. And it, you will ruffle feathers in those processes. There's no doubt. But if you don't ask the hard questions, I don't mean to say demand like being, forcefully demanding, but really insist on detailed answers that can tell you why either your opinion or your observation is right or wrong, then you won't get to good solutions. And so the same was true certainly then in Afghanistan. And by the way, we were way from perfect there because we didn't know what we didn't know. And I think the same is true in business or in healthcare or in education today.